Alright, hey there Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and welcome back to another episode of Prox Guide of Ori and the Willow and the Wisps. If you did miss out during the last one, well, we have just went ahead all the way over here to the final area. This is going to be known as Willow's End, and before we actually go and face off with Shriek, there is going to be a couple of different things that we are going to have to go and do around, such as battling out a mini boss, and also looking for 7 different of these type of blockade enemies here, because once we go and actually knock all of those different type of 7 blockade enemies, we should be able to go and see that some of these different type of tentacle vitey parts that are going to be around will slowly start to get destroyed, and I believe that will actually give us the access point for what we do need to at least somewhat head into the final part of the final boss battle that will be around within here. And now, to get a little bit in touch for what the mini boss is going to be, I'm not going to go into too much detail since we haven't even been to the mini boss yet, but this type of boss in particular is going to be dealing around with throwing a lot of different plasma missiles at you, and he is also going to be shielded with a whole bunch of different like rocks and other things around him. So unfortunately, the one thing is that with your regular type of attacks, it's not going to really do a whole lot to this guy, and the only way that you can only be able to at least somewhat do your regular attacks is unless if he actually goes and destroys his own shield for himself, and then that's when you can actually go and do everything and try to launch out on all the different attacks as you can, right? So for right now, what we're going to have to go and do is we're just going to have to at least continue onwards with our regular exploring for right now. And I know that we've already been seeing that some of these type of teleportation areas have been kind of showing up as well within the process. If you guys remember before, we have went and got ourselves now with the said launch ability for Ori. So that's why there's going to be a lot more of these type of teleportation areas kind of showing up around. And there is going to be some places that are going to be around within here that are not going to allow us to be accessed into some spots. So that's why you can see that there's going to be like a plasma area down around there where the beam is not going to be stopping at any time soon. So just kind of follow through the different plasma beams that are actually somewhat going on and stopping with each other, and that should at least somewhat kind of lead you into where you need to go to next. Now, we do have one of these said guys right around over here, and now for this type of particular spot, there is going to be a said type of blockade enemy that will need a plasma type of missile to get destroyed around within here, and I want to say that type of particular enemy that's going to be right around in this area is going to be someone that you are going to have to at least somewhat guide the type of missile being towards to with. But for right now, I'm not going to really go into like too much type of ways of like going into that type of particular blockade enemy to do it, but the wall is right here. But for right now, what we're going to do is just take on a few other different enemies that are going to be around with the way so that we can access some of the different tentacles to get destroyed later on. So we are going to kind of do a little bit of some backtracking for right now, but we are going to have to return back to that said type of teleportation area from before, and we'll have to lead us into a whole other different type of pathway here. So for right now, let's just go ahead all the way up into this way now, and this should actually at least take us all the way up here. So while doing that, we just need to keep on climbing all the way up until we see another type of teleportation spot, which it should guide us right to it. So yeah, so just blast us right into there, and now we just need to kind of just float up our way up into this way, and we'll just kind of let this guy kind of do its own type of plasma missile type of beam part here. Keep on blasting all the way up. We may have to get ourselves interacting with another one of these enemies again. Yeah, just keep on making sure that you at least somewhat dodge out his attacks, or at least just try to knock him down as best as you can here. So yeah, so that part right over here where you see all that red goop and stuff, that part I want to say is going to lead us to the next access point around within this way. Just that right now we got a lot of those type of tentacle vitey part things that are just blocking that area, so nothing that we can really go and do for right now. But now we got ourselves with a digging spot. So remember when we used out the burrow? Well, we are going to have to use the burrow functionality once again. That's going to be here. So this whole place of Willow's End is like just a big huge area of just using all the different past items that we have used from before, and this is what we're going to have to kind of use all of our different access and weapon equipment to at least somewhat knock out with all these different blockade enemies. And here's one of them right now that we're going to have to do, and we'll actually at least somewhat shoot this guy down, and just like that we got it destroyed. That should at least now head into another different spot around with it there, and there we go. So that's the first of many out of the way. So now we're going to go and head back a little bit over to the other side of that area. And we're going to do that right now, because there's a whole bunch of other different stuff all the way down over on the left-hand side there. So we are definitely going to make sure to head down that way. And we also will be heading up into the north area as well at the final part of this video. So yeah, so here it is. There is this big, huge, gigantic entrance here, and Seer will actually go and tell us all about it. But yeah, so there's a lot of decay and other things that are going on that's just getting blocked there. So for right now, we're just going to have to kind of just, just let that guy kind of just fall down to the ground. And we should be able to hopefully at least blast ourselves up around over here. So that kind of takes us into another little spot. We may have to go and check that out. That may have another one of those enemies that have another said tentacle type of thing to go and get destroyed. So yeah, so just keep on hopping around through here, and this is when we'll go and find out that the mini boss is down in this way. So let's go and hop on down here, and yes, so as what we can go and see right now is that there's a whole bunch of these other different teleportation spots, and we're going to have to use this to our advantage, because what's going to happen here is that this guy is also going to have laser beams as well. So he's going to go and try to at least somewhat kind of block you into other different type of ways that you are going to have a little bit of some frustrating troubles with. And now if he ever does go and shoot out his regular type of beam attacks, this is the best type of option to go and kind of just at least somewhat fire it back to him if you do have the time to do that. And as you guys go and see, the plasma beam is doing a quite a significant chunk amount of damage there. So that's the best type of way for us to go and do that. So we are going to have to spend a little bit of some time on here, and after a little bit of that, he should be able to go and do his last little bit of attack right here, where he's going to disperse his whole entire shield up, and then that's when you can go and do all the different last minute attacks, and that guy is basically said and done. So Laser Braid is finished for what we got with that achievement. And that does take out another said tentacle there for that part. So now, before we go and end off with this video for today, we are going to head up into the north side of this area, just so that we can at least accomplish out for what we can do here. Now, this part is going to be really frustrating. You're going to have to at least do a whole bunch of timing on the way of how you're going to kind of guide yourself into these little teleportation entrance here. And I'm pretty much sure that if you do mess up on just one time out here, you are going to be running into a game over. Well, I wouldn't really say game over, but at least a knockout on Ori, unfortunately. But yeah, we just have to want to make sure that we get into there as best as we can. Unfortunately, that did not really work. But we kind of got the gist of the idea, right? Just head into one of those type of little circular spots right there, jump around, keep on using the launch ability as we can, and we should at least be able to head right into that area again. And there's going to be a lot of different grapple hooks as well. So just make sure that you can at least somewhat cling on to dear life, and make sure that you time out on that one as well too, because that one will actually toss you into a whole other different area if you don't time that out one properly. But there we go, we got that one all said and done, and I'm pretty much certain we just need to go and just light up on this other said blockade enemy, and then that's like at least 3 of them so far already done. So anyways, with that being said in mind, I'm going to end it off for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment, like, also subscribe, and of course, peace.